Thank you for joining. My name is Michael LeBeau. I'm a Senior Solutions Consultant for Quest Software. Today we'll continue on our third video on Enterprise Reporter. This one covers how to configure Enterprise Reporter through the Configuration Manager. You should have by now installed the application. Now open up the Enterprise Reporter Configuration Manager, navigate to the Configuration slider in the navigation pane, and then we'll look at a couple of settings that must be made for Enterprise Reporter to work. First, you'll notice that there's two columns with a multitude of settings that are available for you in Enterprise Reporter, but we're going to focus on three areas. The first one is Credentials Manager. In the Credentials Manager, this is the heart and soul of the system. Any access account that you're going to use needs to be placed in the Credentials Manager. You'll notice that I have a service account for on-prem with the domain triangles indicating that it's an on-prem account. Also, it uses domain /username format. If you're going to collect data from Entra ID, we do have to use a different account in order to collect that data. So in this case, I have an account called Service ER. And it is at the demomal.com domain, which is the registered domain name for my tenant. This is, in fact, Entra ID credential, and I'll provide the password. But once we do that, we do have to authenticate. This authentication process also captures the MFA process for this account. So when we go to authenticate, it's going to ask me to select an account. You must have a match in between the account name and the account that you're authenticating with. Since I was already logged in, it went ahead and authenticated my account. So now I can add another account. When it comes to Entra ID or anything Azure based, it's advisable to have more than one account that you can use in any discovery so that in the event that one account is throttled, we can automatically swap over to another account. Now, this account that I'm going to enter is going to use the standard Microsoft account format for the tenant. And so either way, whether you have a DNS setting for your tenant where you have a globally unique name, or you can use the Microsoft tenant name, either one will work. Don't forget to put in your Entra ID credentials. This will make it authenticate. So it'll go out, select your account. In this case, I'm already signed in as well, and it will go ahead and produce both accounts in the Credential Manager. And you'll notice the icon is showing an Entra ID icon. All right, once you have that done, that is the Credentials Manager. You can always come here to reset account passwords if they change. If you do need to add accounts, you come to the Credential Manager to do so. The next area of focus should be the extended reporter attributes. Oftentimes, we'll have customers that will want to have a record of the extended attributes. Take, for instance, the 15 extended attributes within Active Directory are often used when it comes to a migration or to identify certain accounts. You may want to have to include these or other attributes. So by opening up the extended reporter attribute, telling it to get AD, and then getting the schema, all of the attributes in the schema will be listed here. The ones that we're automatically selecting are in gray. The ones that can be selected have a blue box around them, and the ones that are selected have the check mark in it. So you could easily extend collection of schema events at any point in time for Active Directory, for the computer, if you're using WMI classes, or if you're connected to active roles, that is available to you. Now, the third most important item here is the Tenant Application Management. This is where you register your tenant with Enterprise Reporter. In this case, I'm going to use my DNS name for this. It's going to go out and find that tenant, and then we have to register for each one of our applications that we're going to create. You will note on Exchange and Teams Discovery, we have a self-signed certificate that we will create as part of this process. So let's start here. In this case, we need to have an account. So let's go in and take the global admin. The global admin will go in and configure the application for the discovery of Entra ID. When it comes to Azure resources, we'll choose the global admin again. When it comes to Exchange, same thing. The Exchange is a little bit different. It's going to go in and reconfigure or set to configure Exchange, but we also have to go in and register a certificate. So in this case, we can import a certificate, we can select an existing certificate, or we can create a self-signed certificate. In this case, all we do is put in the password. So if we got it right. And this will be good for 1 year. If we've built out that certificate, all we have to do is accept that certificate as mod ER, and the PFX file will be loaded up, and the certificate file successfully loaded to the Azure application. So when it comes to Teams, we have to do the same thing. Essentially, register the application, and then build out a certificate for that application with a password. This is a repetitive process until completion. In future releases of Enterprise Reporter, we'll have the certificate configuration for most discovery types when it comes to Azure. All right, we do have to complete this process for OneDrive and then for SharePoint. All right, that completes the building of the tenant applications for Enterprise Reporter. There are other functions within this that you may want to address, such as email notifications, or if you're having to pull information off of a NAS, you can configure a NAS to where you can have root access. By identifying the NAS type, we support the big three, the address and the port, and the credentials that you want to use for access. That's in the event that you do need root access on any one of your NAS devices. If you have any other configuration questions, feel free to reach out to Quest Software. We'll be able to answer those for you quite handily. Thank you.